We put so much love, so much thought, so much time, so much emotional investment in our manuscripts that it's inevitable that a little way into the process, we're going to start to ask ourselves, is this any good? Am I on the right track? What am I doing? What am I even doing? So this week, I created a self-evaluation checklist so you can self-edit and start to really look at your manuscript from an objective perspective and see how the different parts are fitting together. And so in this video, I'm going to go over the basic themes that I talk about in these questions in the self-edit checklist. And if you want the paper itself, which is more detailed, it's easier. You can sit with it, relax, look at it, do it piece by piece over time. That is free and you can sign up for it. So it'll be sent right to your email down below. So I want to start with the foundation of setting characters and plot. Take these one at a time. For the plot, I've provided the plot table. Now, even after you're into your writing, you're a certain ways into the manuscript, it can be great to just look at the plot table and see how things fit together. That's a really great way to self-edit because then you see, are my plot turns happening? Is this exciting enough? Is this coming together? So that is a wonderful thing if you just want to fill that out. I'll tell you, it's easier to do on a manuscript once you're into it than starting from scratch. So that's a fun exercise. Setting. We need to be grounded in a setting, no matter what kind of fiction you're writing, because otherwise your characters are going to turn into talking heads. So people want to feel grounded in order to be immersed in an experience. And then finally, questions around characterization, description, which is give 2 or 3 sentences. When we meet somebody, we want to be able to see them. We learn a lot by being able to place them as a physical person, and that is so often forgotten, especially in first drafts. Complexity. Are they a stereotype? Or do they have different qualities, internal qualities that might conflict? Are they dimensional? Having a complex character, which often means inner contradictions, often makes a character able to stand in a manuscript. So check for that. And then dynamism. Do they change? Are they stagnant? Are they static? Or do they change? So those 3 parts of your main characters, make sure they have those. The main cast, make sure that you're getting into a little bit of depth with those characters. Now, dynamism, a dynamic character, it just means the character goes through a change. And that brings us to the second section of the self-evaluation checklist, which are scenes. Bring us into the moment. And so here are a few things I want to check for in each of your scenes. Action, reaction, change. Make sure that people are getting into it and acting and reacting, doing interesting things, moving. They're not stuck in their heads, but they're really showing who they are with actions. This connects to dialogue. However, make sure, once again, that your manuscript isn't a couple of talking heads just talking about a bunch of theoretical things. Make sure that the actions are creating plot turns that are really dynamic. So we've got action and reaction that's coupled with dialogue, and then the exposition. Setting comes in through exposition, which is summary or description. Characterization often comes in through that, and you can create a lot of this character depth by getting into characters' inner thoughts. That, of course, ties to the point of view you've chosen, which isn't on the checklist because hopefully that's all stable by the time that you're self-editing. But exposition balances out the pacing between actions. And so with the pacing, which is the final set of questions in this scene section, the second section of the checklist, Pacing and transitions, it's a balance. You want things to happen, you want actions to mess stuff up and create disasters on the one hand, so you have a really moving manuscript. Then on the other hand, you want to give time for us to bond and process. So you don't want to have one of those just constantly shoot 'em up manuscripts where we don't ever care about anybody. We don't really slow down. It's just thing after thing after thing. So finding your style and your balance between those two extremes is really important. And then organically organizing the transitions in a flow that's intuitive, that's continuous, there's continuity, and it makes sense. Often a few expository sentences of transition can really help you move from one scene to the next. And then finally, in the manuscript as a whole, where is the tension? So, one thing that's really fun to do when you're self-editing is to create a graph. So, when I'm looking at tension, I'll have the chapters of a book kind of listed out, a table of contents. And then I will look at the various themes that create the tension. So let's say it's a ghost story or a romance story. Where's the tension in the romance? Maybe it's a paranormal romance, and so it's a ghosty romance. So where is the romantic tension and where is that uncanny, spooky, ghosty tension? And so I'll just match that. I'll map that out because often you have multiple strands, multiple subplots. And so if you just get out an old spreadsheet, list your chapters and look at where the tension is, you can think about, on a scale of 1 to 3, how much tension is in this chapter, and make sure you have tension in the book and it's flowing towards a climax. And then finally, when I was talking about tension, the tension really brings the reader out along various themes, various ideas, various stakes. In my plot graphs, I talk about stakes and significance. What does the person have to lose? And what does it mean to lose whatever the stakes are? And so looking at those different themes and tracking their progress through the book, get out a spreadsheet, list your chapters, and just see how this is moving. Zoom out, big picture. So sign up. You can grab that checklist for free. It's so valuable right below. And if you want a little more advice on what to do with the book, we just published the Rapid Novel Blueprint. This is my early author copy, even though I have my real copies now. But the Rapid Novel Blueprint is a book that Miranda Reichs and I put together, and we really just piled everything we know about fiction into this book. And so start with a checklist, and then if you want some help to know how to fix any problems that might be coming up in your manuscript, grab this, the Rapid Novel Blueprint. I put videos up every Friday to move you forward and coach you on your book. So I will see you next Friday. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So much love. Bye.